Hello, I'm Danny.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Marvel Talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Marvel Talk. Today we're getting wacky. We're back talking about Marvel stuff, as the show title is.
Oh my gosh, we have Marvel stuff to actually talk about? What?
Yeah, Disney decided to put some stuff out. Yeah, so there's a lot of news that's been sprinkled about since the last time we talked. We'll get to that later. And first, I figured we might as well talk about what Marvel's been doing. It's been roughly a year, I think, since they've put like any movies out or shows connected to the MCU.
Since Far From Home, right? Like Far From Home was the last thing that got released?
Yeah.
Wow, that feels like an eternity ago.
It really does feel a long time ago.
July 2nd, 2019. It's been 2 years since we got Marvel stuff.
But slowly but surely, they are back with the first show connected to the MCU, publicly anyways. I mean, we could talk about the Netflix stuff later. But yeah. WandaVision is out. And to my surprise, the premiere had 2 episodes, which I didn't hear about. So that was a cool surprise.
And especially since the episodes are only like 29 minutes long each.
Yeah, they're pretty short. And just right off the bat, before we even get into the show, I just got to say, it's a TV show, but I don't need movie credits in a TV show, you know?
Oh, God, the credit sequences are so long. They're so long. Oh, man. They're a cool credit sequence. Like, it's well animated, but man, the first episode made me think I was going to get a post-credit scene right off the bat.
Yeah, when I was looking at how much time was left, I was like 7 minutes and we're getting credits. I'm scrolling. I'm like, oh, no post-credit scenes. I mean, I guess not because it is a show, so they'll probably save that for the finale, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I would imagine there'll be some teaser for Doctor Strange or Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, whatever this is going to connect to next, yeah. So the premiere is out, and then episode 3 also out at this time. And I figured it's actually good we're recording now for 3 episodes because I didn't really have a whole lot to say about the first 2.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you. I wasn't feeling a whole lot from the first 2 episodes. Just episode 3 really started to get the ball rolling, I think.
Yeah, that was my big worry because there's only I think it's 8 episodes, right?
Was it 8 or 10? I don't remember.
But yeah, I'm worried there's not a lot of episodes here, and the build up into what this show is going to be about in the first 2 was pretty slow.
That first episode was cool, but it was like almost nothing happened. 9 episodes. There are going to be 9 episodes, with the final episode coming out on March 5th.
But yeah, my big worry was if we were going to get to like episode 5, and then that's when it started building up, kind of thing.
Oh gosh, I'm so happy stuff has finally started happening in episode 3. Mm-hmm. I was real worried.
Yeah, like the end bit for episode 2, I thought was a good way to set it up, and I think I'm more acceptable for it, mainly because the premiere was just the first 2 episodes, so the first week of the show was just all slow build up, and then technically the second week, you know, that's when it starts building up nice. So I'm more okay with it that it came out like this. Like if this was the 3rd week on the 3rd episode, I've been like, man, like we could pick up the pace a little more.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we're only 2 weeks into it and it's already starting to do stuff.
Yes,
it's good pacing. Good pacing. They're keeping the pacing pretty clippy, which I'm into.
Yes. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Again, spoilers for WandaVision. If you haven't seen it, just go check it out.
Yep. The biggest thing I got to say is that this is David Lynch light. Like, if you're not comfortable with David Lynch movies, this is probably the lighter form of that.
Yeah,
it's pretty weird. It's got some really weird parts that are definitely meant to make you feel uncomfortable. So
yeah, it's the first thing I kept thinking of when I was watching the episodes. It's like, this is a weird show, man.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Doom Patrol Season 1 and Legion in the style that it's taking. both of which are very, very strange shows in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun to see the MCU branch out and do something just very wildly different from what they've been doing. This definitely doesn't follow any Marvel formula that I can think of.
Yeah, not at all. My biggest surprise is the first 2 episodes were in 4:3 format, like classic television.
Yeah, that was really neat. Like the style of the first episode is obviously like the Dick Van Dyke Show,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like episode 2 was a lot closer to like the Addams Family, sorta, like in the way that it's shot and everything too. Like
Yeah.
the way that it looks is a lot more Addams Family or Andy Griffith Show, where there's a lot more like actual locations and stuff, like outdoor scenes, rather than just like on a set. And then episode 3 is definitely like very 70s.
Yeah, I saw an article yesterday. They were talking about they were considering filming the show in front of a live audience.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. Did that not actually end up happening? Because I thought it did, and like the live audience was like under like major NDAs and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get deep into the article.
Okay.
I mean, like we do know that the laugh tracks are in there.
Sci-fi article right here from November 12th. That it was filmed in front of a live studio audience. Wow. The article says that they also like the crew was also made to wear period specific clothing while on set, and they used camera lenses from the 50s to give it the little
Really?
the Beaver look. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, the Vision's magenta skin doesn't register right in black and white, so they had to paint him blue. Wow, I want to see that version of Vision where he's got blue skin instead of red. That'd be great.
I wonder how that worked in the finale for episode 2 then, because when we get the transition into color, he's his normal, like purple red.
He's just he's just magenta in that scene.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, first impressions of the first episode, I was like, all right, like, are we doing a parody? Or are we actually trying to go back to these classic sitcoms? And it's like I think it's like a mix of both, which is, I think it's good.
I'm pretty into it. It's pretty fun to watch, honestly. Like, and it's got just enough off about it that also makes it feel just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting show so far, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I'm kind of bummed I've watched trailers though. I'm honestly kind of bummed because I feel like I've been spoiled about a couple things going on with this show, in terms of the ads.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about the show, and they said, yeah, if you watched all the commercials and trailers, you pretty much watched like the first episode.
And I kind of wish that we didn't know about so many people being in it.
Mm.
Like, I kind of wish I didn't know that the one girl is Monica Rambeau or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And I wish I didn't know that there was any interaction with people from Sword or whatever, because I'm like, it's fun to know that stuff and see the references, but I'm also kind of like, I'd like a little bit more mystery to this. Like this, I think this show could have done really well with just showing like the black and white stuff for trailers and don't show like anything else. You know, Marvel's got to advertise the way they advertise, so.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part for stuff like this. But I am glad that they didn't really show off the parts where the show gets really weird, like the end piece for episode 1 when Vision's boss is choking.
Yeah.
Just how, like, I guess, like, disturbing, I guess you could say, the scene is.
Oh yeah, it's definitely meant to be like very like strange and out there, and it's like it almost comes off like that like the whole time to me. Like there's an edge of discomfort throughout the whole thing. Like not everything is quite right. And it's that definitely comes to a head in episode 3 more than the other two. I like Drunk Vision a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Drunk Vision is probably my favorite new Marvel character, and he needs to be in more stuff.
Yeah, I always like the gimmick when it comes to robots or cyborgs like that, where it's something so random that you wouldn't think about. Like that's what causes them to act drunk or like way different. And the fact that he was just chewing gum caused him to be like that is great.
Yeah, like he can't physically eat any food, or else it'll it'll mess up his interior stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. The supporting cast they're doing a fantastic job, I think, portraying what style of show that they're doing per episode.
Oh yeah, I think all the actors in the show are great. Like they're able to transition between time periods really well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love all the actors they picked because most of them are like sitcom actors. Like they're all people I've seen in sitcom shows outside of this, which I think is really cool. So I'm pretty impressed so far, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah, I like that aspect for it. Yeah, when it came to the third episode was when I started paying, I guess, more attention to the show, because like we said, that's where most of this stuff is coming in. Like in episode 2, right, what they did was Vision was starting to realize things aren't right, and then we could clearly see Wanda wants to change that with we physically see her rewind the show essentially.
You mean like at the very end of episode 2 with the honeybee guy? Which, who the heck is that supposed to be? That was super weird.
Yeah, I heard. I forget. Episode 2 is when we get that animated intro, right? That's like Bewitched.
Yeah, we get the very Bewitched style intro in the second episode.
Yes, I heard somebody was saying that there was some hints in that opening. They were showing off that during the intro or something there was like some drawings of a devil in the backgrounds, like on posters and stuff in the stores.
So yeah, should I just delve into this theory because I'm pretty in it. I'm pretty on it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I really like their mid-episode commercials.
Yes. Yeah, those are great too.
Those have been really good. And my theory so far is that the guy we keep seeing in those commercials is going to end up being the villain, i.e. Nightmare, I think. Or what's his name? The guy that they were saying might end up in Doctor Strange.
Oh, wasn't it Mephisto? Wasn't it?
Whoever it is, if it is Mephisto, that would make sense for the devil imagery and stuff. I have a strong feeling that he's going to end up being the main villain of the season, because there's like 2 of the commercials he's shown up in, and then the third one he's just a voice, but they all have to do with Hydra, which I think is interesting. Like all of the commercials are Hydra products.
Well, there was one that was actually I think a Stark product.
Yeah, there was a Stark Industries toaster.
Yeah. And people have been pointing out like those are references to Wanda's tragedies that she's had in the MCU.
Oh, interesting.
Like the Stark tech obviously is, when like their background in Age of Ultron with the missile that hit their house.
Yeah.
I think it's reference to that, and then the Hydra stuff with everything else that was going on.
Yeah, the commercials are definitely like those parts are like the weirdest parts for me because they're just like so strange. But it's man, this show is it's wild, man. This is a very strange series.
Yeah, like in episode 3 we see Wanda gets pregnant at the end of 2, and so she's doing some housework in episode 3, and then we just see her using her powers to move like the vacuum cleaner and the furniture, and just the way the props are moving. It looks so weird because I'm not used to seeing stuff move like that now in shows.
Yeah, it's very old fashioned in the way that they handle a lot of the special effects, which I really like. Kind of like when she was doing the whole cooking thing in the first episode, where she like kept like making stuff appear and disappear and change places, and I was like, I can tell they're doing like higher budget stuff to make this stuff happen, but it looks low budget, which is a very weird combination. Like it's very weird.
Yeah, it throws me off when it first pops up on screen, but it throws me off for the better. But back to what Wanda is doing, because I think when we talked about the show before, I think I was more pro like maybe Wanda is probably doing this to herself.
Yeah.
And in episode 2 and 3, it feels more apparent like that, especially when
there's an element of House of M going on, like super strong.
Yeah, like I think my favorite thing when it comes to that is in episode 3 when Vision is talking about all the weird things that are going on in that episode, and then you just see Wanda's face and she knows that he's catching on, And instead of the rewind effect that happened in the last episode, it just does like this weird, like a weird cut. And then it just replays the scene, but he's acting normal, quote unquote.
Oh, like about the babies, right? Where it has like a hiccup in the scene. Yeah, where he's like, oh yeah, that scene was super weird. I'm really digging all this like playing around with how like television and movies work. Very meta type stuff. And I'm super into it. I'm trying to think of one of the other moments that I was really a fan of with that kind of stuff. I really liked like when Vision goes outside to see off like the doctor guy. Oh, by the way, I love the way they did his super speed effects because they were just like super speed effects from like old 70s TV shows like Wonder Woman and like Superman and stuff. Like that was great. I loved seeing that style of super speed again. It's like that's wonderful. But when he sees off the doctor and then he turns around to look at his neighbor and his neighbor's just like cutting through like the wall underneath the bushes, like there's obviously something weird going on there, right? Like I don't know, it's very strange.
Even the second time he goes out there and his neighbor's talking to the other neighbor, that's the wife.
Oh, you mean
I forget her name.
Dr. Octavia from Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, does she do the voice? Oh.
Yeah, she's the voice actress for Octavius.
Yeah, I hear it now. Yeah.
Spider-Verse, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only seen her in Parks and Recreations.
Yeah, she's, like I said, big sitcom people. It's cool.
Yeah. But those moments there where they're kind of whispering to each other and she's trying to say that they're not real, but she knows she can't. And
yeah, like there's something stopping her from saying it type deal.
Yeah.
Like the way they figure out that Geraldine is not a person from the town. Like she's an outsider. That was all really, really fun. And then they do a really good job of making Wanda scary.
Yes.
In that scene with Geraldine. They make her really intimidating. And I'm like, oh yeah, because she's scary. She's a scary lady.
Yeah, the build up to that too was great with like in between all the hiccups that were going on. Like the first scene where she says no and rewinds the show. Like that shows her determination. Yep. And then kind of everything else is just like building up inside her. And now we're seeing like, oh, Geraldine is an actual threat because she knows stuff she's not supposed to. And then so she's like, I have to deal with this one way, or like there's only one way to deal with this. And then the fact that she's just gone in the next scene. And it's like, oh no, yeah, she left. And then she acts like everything is like nothing happened. Like she wasn't even there.
Yep. Like everything's cool. And then you don't get to hear what Vision's response to that is. Like, yeah, oh man, it's chilling in a way. It's very spooky in a way that I really enjoy. I'm like, oh hey, maybe they are letting Marvel be a little scary here and there. Like that's cool.
Yeah, just the way they're handling it with the atmosphere and the tension in those scenes. It's a great way to make it be like, oh wow, this isn't what I was expecting. Because for most of the show, it's pretty happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy and silly for the most part. But there's always, I don't know, they do a really good way of like riding the line of making it like goofy and silly, but having like an undercurrent of like discomfort, like where you're like I feel like I should be laughing, but I was like it's like it's uneasy laughter, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like
nervous laughter.
It's laughter. Yeah, it's nervous laughter. It's like this is funny, but like what's going on? Like what's actually happening here? Like the scene like from the first episode where they have that whole deal with the neighbor or with the boss coming to dinner and stuff. Episode 2 has like a big moment for me where like Wanda meets like the housing community leader lady.
Yes.
And then the radio thing happens and that lady's like, who is that? Who's on the radio? Who is that? And then like everything just kind of stops. And doesn't one of them have like a nosebleed? Is like the lady have it? Or no, she cuts her hand open.
Yeah, Wanda cuts her hands because she's holding onto the glass too much. And then this is when the show's still black and white. And then we see her blood is normal red. Yeah.
I like that you get some Pleasantville vibes going on right there. A la Tobey Maguire. I'm like, oh, hey, that's
our boy
cool reference. There it is. References to Spider-Man, maybe? I really dug that, and then like the helicopter that shows up in like one part, like the toy helicopter that falls into the bush.
Yeah.
In that second episode also like is really weird. And I like that whenever there are these moments of like the world breaking, you can tell that they're happening because of the way they shoot it. Like the camera angles are like much more dynamic.
Yes.
And the lighting becomes more dynamic. So that's really cool. I'm really into it.
Yeah. Yeah, the helicopter part is weird. I think mainly because it's a toy helicopter, right? And as we saw in episode 3, Geraldine got like thrown out like in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it wasn't in the middle of nowhere because there's a sign outside of the area that she gets thrown out of that says Westview Village, which is where the rest of the show is taking place. My other theory about it is that Wanda took up residence in like an actual small town somewhere, and like whatever she's doing is causing the small town to be like enveloped in this bubble of stuff. So she's kind of influencing the entire town.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I always just assumed it was like in a different dimension kind of thing, like she's trapped somewhere.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably a pocket dimension, but it's enveloped the town.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously from the outside, it looks like regular area. You know what I mean? Like when Rambo's thrown out. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And I like that we get to hear, what's his face? The Asian guy from the end of Aquaman. What's his name? Randall Park?
Randall Park, yeah. He was in Ant-Man, right?
Yeah. He was the FBI agent in Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's the voice on the radio in episode 2. Like, he's the one trying to communicate with Wanda through the radio. But I'm digging all of the little sword references we're getting, because there was a sword logo on the helicopter in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there was the necklace that Geraldine was wearing that had the sword in it. I don't remember if there was a sword logo anywhere in episode 1.
I don't think so, because all we had in episode 1 was just the end bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's where the sword logo shows up in episode 1. Is the end bit with the lady writing in the notebook.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and the sword logo's on that notebook. Like, it's on like the outside cover of it. And there's been some people who are theorizing that the person who was writing in that notebook was the other person that we know is in this show, which is what's her face from Thor.
Oh yeah, it starts with
Kat Dennings' character.
Isn't it Darcy?
Darcy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories that Darcy's the one writing in the little notepad in the first episode.
Because she's confirmed, right, for the show?
She's confirmed to be in it. She's in one of the trailers too.
Right.
Like, she shows up in one of the trailers. Like, it's like, oh, there she is. She's in there. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where they take it. I'm wondering if the Bumblebee guy is going to end up being the same guy that's in the commercials. Like the mid episode commercials.
Yeah, because there was no dialogue in that scene when he came out of the sewer, right?
No, he just like turns around and glares at him, but you don't see like a face. It's
right.
like obscured in shadow. And then that's where she goes, no. And then she rewinds everything back to right when, like, she rewinds back to before they hear the noise outside.
Yes.
And that's when she's pregnant. So it's very strange.
Yeah, I think the biggest question is whether or not Vision's real.
Oh, Vision. See, I saw another theory that like his body's real. Like, it's the body that's from Infinity War. But she's just puppeteering it around.
Now that's dark right there.
Yeah. So if they end up going that route, I'm gonna be like, whoo, that's pretty rough. That's gonna be real rough if they do that. Oh boy. Very weird. I'm very curious about where this is going.
Yeah, so like he's playing by the rules of the world that's the show.
Yeah, but he's a little bit more aware of certain things.
Yeah, he only notices everything's off, and yeah, he just doesn't know what's going on, and questions a lot. So I'm wondering, because if this is still connecting to Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse stuff, is this another Vision kind of thing?
Oh, like an alternate universe Vision?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I would say that's a decent trope that happens here and there. Like in Spider-Verse, right? Kingpin wanted his family back, so he wants to just pull them from a different universe.
Yeah, like a different timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that there's like two Peter Parkers like that can exist within one space, even though one's dead.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's the case here with him.
Yeah, or like when Peter Parker from the alternate universe like finds Mary Jane in the main one, and like there's like a whole thing there. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting if that was what they were going for with this Vision. Like this is just actually him back alive. Could be kind of neat. I gotta say, and this is just like a little random detail that I liked. The second episode, the box, like the disappearing magic box that he had, like to make Wanda like disappear, was cool because it had the Mind Stone on it. Like the whole design on the front of the box was like energy coming out of the Mind Stone, which I was like, that's cool. I like that kind of reference. That's neat. And there's a lot of this that just, it's the same way with how Wonder Woman was. It just makes me think of like Silver Age comic books. Like a lot of these like scenarios and stuff with Wanda and Vision are just making me think of like older comics because they're so like over the top and weird. I love in the third episode too how like Wanda's powers bring the stork in the painting to life.
yeah.
She has to like do all this nonsense to like get Geraldine to not see it. Like that's great. It gave me some big Jumanji vibes, like old Jumanji.
Yeah, it really is, huh? With
just like a creature walking around. I thought it was interesting that she couldn't get it to go away. Like I thought that was kind of a weird part.
Well, I think it's because they showed in that scene, the rest of that scene, that she couldn't really control her powers when she's pregnant.
Ah, okay. Like she can control them like to a point. Like there's like an aspect of control to it, but not all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another question I had was when I was watching those scenes. I was like, is it her doing those things, or is it like the babies doing that stuff?
Oh yeah, that's another point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was some aspect to that where I was like, wait a minute, who's actually doing this stuff? Is it her or the babies? Like obviously the water breaking part, which was hilarious. That was a really good gag. I gotta say, some of the gags that they do with their superpowers are pretty wonderful. I like that they have a different way to change Vision into like a normal person in every episode. Like the special effect changes like every episode, like to match like the time periods special effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty great. And I like that Vision's hair keeps changing. Like he's got different hair like every episode too. Like all the attention to detail with the costumes and stuff is just, it's pretty sublime. I gotta say, I'm a big fan.
Trying to see if these kids have powers in the comics, because I think they do.
Yeah, right. Like they end up becoming like full X-Men characters, I think later. Thomas and William, which are the names of the characters in the show, so that's comic accurate. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, look at this in this article talking about it. In the comics, it's sort of played out similar to how she just, thought of like, I want to get pregnant with Vision's kids, and that's how she got pregnant in the comics.
Yeah, because that's during the House of M arc, right?
Yeah, and it says here, it was later revealed that she borrowed Mephisto's life essence to create them.
Ah, very interesting. And who might be showing up in Doctor Strange too?
Oh yeah, I think one's a speedster. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like one gets like Quicksilver powers and then the other one gets powers similar to Wanda, I think, right?
Yeah, Tommy in the comics, he's a speedster. His name is Speed. And then
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. It's very Marvel.
And then Billy is his name is Wiccan.
Yeah, Wiccan.
Yeah.
And Wiccan is like, he's like a big deal because he's like a homosexual character, I believe.
Oh,
is that right?
Oh, okay.
I think that's like a thing with Wiccan. I don't remember. I could be wrong though.
But yeah, he has the same type of powers as Wanda, but they only work if he can hear them. It says here he's like a mage, so I guess he has to say like the spells for it to work.
Oh, okay.
And it says it only works if he can hear them.
Oh, so if somebody like makes him deaf, his powers don't work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it looks like they're in some of the recent comics too that Marvel's putting out. Okay, yeah, so that's gonna be interesting, man. If the Mephisto connection stays the same.
Yeah, because that'll probably be like one of the most accurate things they've done in the MCU at this point. Like to the comics,
probably. Yeah,
I would. Yeah, this because if they're going full House of M and like we're hearing about X-Men characters showing up and stuff in later movies, like this, it could be that this is just like the start of them getting a little bit more following main comic line stories. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I think the premise, if Mephisto is connected, I think how I would like to see it would be he convinces Wanda to do this to herself, right?
Yeah.
To wind up in this weird pocket thing in this town.
Like almost like a sign a deal with the devil type aspect.
Yeah, so that way she's out of the picture while he can do what he wants to do.
Cool.
Right, because you know, sure, we have her and Doctor Strange, like they're probably the strongest characters on Earth at the moment.
Yeah.
So just getting one out of the way really helps a lot, and that would, you know, help tie into how he's the main villain in Doctor Strange 2, because he has to deal with Strange eventually. And then if they want to keep the same accuracy of she's borrowing his powers to make this happen, but she takes a little more to create the kids, and he doesn't like that. So that's where he could come into conflict with her.
Okay.
I think that'd be pretty good, and then you could eventually somehow tie in Doctor Strange to maybe save Wanda during this fight, because you know he could probably sense what's going on.
I'm curious if he's going to show up in the show later on.
Yeah, I wonder, because I mean, you know, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, like, you know, they're big actors to have on a show like this, and like you pointed out, everyone's been a sitcom actor before.
I was reading the article about earlier about Elizabeth Olsen talking about the show, and she's like, "It's weird that I'm filming a sitcom like 30 years after my sisters filmed sitcoms."
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, we know Disney can put the money down for their shows, right? Look at the quality of Mandalorian, and even here, you know, like the production is high quality. Even though it may not look like it, you know, like we said, like the gimmicks look very of the time, but you know, it's a lot more work than you probably realize.
I would definitely, it seems like it's coming off that like, it's coming off like there's a lot of, like the same kind of shooting techniques as Mandalorian, where they're doing like a lot of the fake sets, especially for the outdoor scenes. I could imagine those being things that are on a closed set, but they're able to film it in the same like building stuff, like the way they have the 360 crazy set design thing for Mandalorian.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that seems like it might be the same type of deal for this, for outdoor shots, unless they just found like a city set they could go to and film on, which they might have done too.
Yeah, I forget, like this was pretty much almost done filming before COVID happened, right?
Yeah, I think they just went back for like some smaller reshoot stuff.
Okay.
But I think this finished up like, because originally this was supposed to release like last November.
Oh gosh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they finished shooting a lot of the show back in like probably like August, if I remember right. Because I remember seeing like this show in particular got like shooting is completed. Like it got like that article like twice.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like it got that article like 2 times, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought they did finish shooting. Did they not finish shooting? Like what? Yeah, May 11th, 2020 is when they supposedly finished shooting. And then again they updated in November of last year that they have finished filming. So it's like they probably went back and did some reshoot stuff in between May and November. Yeah, September filming reshoots. Okay, yeah. So that makes sense. So they filmed some extra stuff in the meantime.
If they explore more of the town, I would say probably like that's a whole set. or at least an outdoor setting.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what they do with it going forward, like in the newer episodes, like as we go, because we know there are scenes that take place more outside, like from the trailers. Because there's like the one trailer that shows Vision actually turning into like full Vision mode. I think that's like when they're wearing the Halloween costumes and stuff, which I think is probably just going to be the next episode. Because if episode 3 was 70s, I think the next episode will probably be 80s.
You think that the kids are going to grow up pretty fast, like how the pregnancy was?
Yeah, I could imagine that going quick. That the kids will end up being like probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, I wonder how old they're going to make the kids before something happens.
Yeah, I'm curious. And I'm just wondering how much of the real world we're going to get to see. I don't know. And I'd seen something about the fact that this takes place like directly after Endgame. I don't know how true that is at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was just thinking the other day about it, that at the end of Endgame, Wanda was content with both Vision and Pietro's deaths, right? Like she's accepted it in the scene talking to
Hawkeye.
To Hawkeye, right? Yeah. And I was thinking, like, but like, would she really do this to herself immediately after that scene? Because in shows and stuff, like, characters tend to do that, like, do a full 180 of what they just did. And I never liked that. But if she got coerced into it, I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm curious if Hawkeye is going to show up in this at all.
I would really like
that. I think about it. Yeah, like that seems like it would be a big misstep if they didn't have Hawkeye show up in this at all. Because they have a lot of scenes together throughout the series, Wanda and Hawkeye. And I feel like that would be good setup for his show.
Yeah, because we know he's active again.
Yep.
Because we got all those set photos not that long ago of Hawkeye. And he looks like he's just back in the field. I mean, he's mainly training Kate, but more or less he looks like he's just back in the game. So I couldn't imagine like they wouldn't call him up and be like, yo, we need your help.
Yeah, that I feel like that could be a thing that might happen. Like, I don't know. That's going to be weird. That's going to be interesting to see if they have him show up.
But yeah, I do wonder as well how much we're going to get out in the outside world, because I do remember there's that set photo of Wanda sitting in front of a sword office.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I would guess like that's either when they pull her out or something,
Yep, I could see that. Like they find a way to actually get her out of whatever bubble or whatever is happening.
Yeah. And I would guess that'd be like the end of, I guess, what you could call like a second act for the show if you were to treat it like a movie.
Yeah, like because I can't imagine they're gonna go. They can't like stretch the decades out between episodes because it seems like they've done 50s, 60s, 70s. Probably the next one will be 80s. I'd assume the episode after that will be a 90s episode, and then we'll be in modern day after that point. So I can't see them having too many more episodes in the bubble.
Yeah, I'd say the 90s would be my limit to what they do.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Especially because they're half-hour episodes. And the pacing's great too because it doesn't feel like 30 minutes.
No, it feels like it's a lot longer, which is really cool. Like it feels like it's got a nice amount of content going on.
So I wonder if like they're gonna stretch these last eras of sitcoms in between like stuff in the real world, because like now we're fully introduced to it by the end of episode 3 and Geraldine's reveal. I feel like there's just like this is gonna be her perspective of what's going on, and then hop back into Wanda's.
It's gonna be cool, man. I'm pretty stoked. I gotta say that back when we were talking about all the newer Marvel stuff coming out, this was one of the only things I was excited about, and I'm happy that it's turning out to be as interesting as I hoped it would.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm impressed with what they've done so far on the show.
Yeah, I I can't lie. This really just makes me not interested at all in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though. Like, I just want to see more of what's going on with this plot line, and to know that this is going to end, and we're gonna have to wait for movies to see how this like probably completes itself. That's a bummer.
Yeah, because if the connections, like we've talked about how it would connect, like I guess we would have to wait till Spider-Man to even see something like
Spider-Man
that.
3 to see how it goes. Yep.
Yeah, and then gotta wait for Doctor Strange.
Yep. Unless they have small like references to it throughout Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know, because there's going to be some Hydra stuff in there. So maybe?
Yeah, I wonder what the overlap would be on the timeline for those. So, I mean, overall, I'm looking forward to the rest of the episodes. I want to see how more awkward and intense these episodes can get.
Yeah, I'm give me more Lynchy kind of stuff, man. Just go whole hog, make it weird and freaky. I'm down. Like, I think this is their like maybe their first chance to do it, and maybe their last chance if Doctor Strange 2 doesn't get to be weird. Which I can't imagine they would take that away from Doctor Strange 2. They got Sam Raimi on it, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna make it strange no matter what. So.
So cool, man. That is WandaVision. Great stuff.
So we'll come back around to WandaVision around once episode 6 has aired.
So we might as well hop right into some of this new stuff we've been getting. We mentioned Spider-Man earlier, and there was some news for that recently of reports that Charlie Cox finished filming on the Spider-Man set.
Yeah, that Daredevil might be back. I don't know. That would be cool. I'm very curious about what this is meaning for the rest of the Netflix characters. Like, Kevin Feige released a statement where he was like, "Never say never" to like people coming back, and I'm like, that's cool. If they actually come back, that'll be really neat.
Yeah, because there was the other report that Jessica Jones might be in She-Hulk as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was hearing about. So I'm very curious about how that's gonna all shake out. Because I want to see Luke Cage come back. He's cool. I like Luke Cage. Just don't make him like the King of Harlem anymore. That was weird.
Don't remind me about that ending. I still don't think that was a real ending.
Yeah, no, that season didn't happen. Talk about season 2.
I wonder if because they knew there wasn't going to be a season 3, they just like winged it at the end. Like, let's just do something crazy.
Like, let's just have fun and do something weird with it. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that was a very strange finale. Yeah.
Yeah. Season 1 was so good, so strong, and then season 2 is just like, whatever. We don't really know what we're doing with it anymore. But if Charlie Cox does show up, I'd imagine. I don't think he would end up being in the suit.
Yeah, I would think he'd just be the lawyer.
Yeah, I can imagine that's like the most we'll see of him in the movie, because at this point there's supposed to be like so many people in superhero costumes in that film, and I'm just like, there's too many people.
Yeah, it's so crazy that there's too much happening for Spider-Man 3.
I mean, that's like a trope, right? Though at this point, like, Spider-Man 3 movies are just
over the top
to the brim with stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
Unless Spider-Man 3 ends up being like 3 hours. Like,
yeah, that's another thing is time constraint on this film. Like, I can't imagine a 2.5 hour Spider-Man 3 movie. I don't think.
No.
But I don't know now, because this is supposed to come out next year, right?
August 1st is the current release date.
For this year, right?
This year, yeah. Which I don't think that's actually going to happen.
Well, they're filming right now, right? We got some set photos of Tom Holland.
Oh, man, the new suit looks great.
Oh, did we get a look at it?
Yeah. It's not super different from Far From Home. They just took away like the black patches on the waistline area. Like where the web cartridges were, and I think that's great, because I was not a fan of those, and it makes the suit look a lot more comic accurate.
Oh, I forgot we got the shot of him with the mask on, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Like there's like the shot of him like on set, like in the suit, and then I posted that thing in the chat where it's like, I can't wait for them to CGI the heck out of this thing.
Right. It does look better. Yeah.
I really dig the look of it, and it's not like huge changes. They're very subtle changes to the suit, but I think they look good.
Yeah,
they look nice.
That's one thing I'll give props to MCU is the subtle changes in their suits.
Yeah,
like Cap's suit, for example, like all the minor details that end up getting added on throughout the films.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
But yeah, so if it is still slated for August of this year, I think they would probably make this a 2.5 hour movie then.
I can't see it being a 3 hour.
Yeah, like similar to Wonder Woman 84, how like that's a 2.5 hour movie, and I think they decided to do that because it mainly was going to be on streaming services.
That makes sense,
right? Like
is it going to be weird if we get the Spider-Man 3 movie before Black Widow? I don't.
Oh gosh,
Black Widow ever going to come out? Are we going to see that movie?
That's going to be weird.
Are they never going to release that? Like,
well, maybe it's like a contractual thing, similar to New Mutants, right? Like people were thinking like, oh, maybe there's a contract that it has to come out in theaters first, and then they could put it on streaming, like something weird like that. But yeah, because like we all remember with Justice League, like it was originally a 2.5 hour movie for theatrical, but they shaved it down to 2 hours just to get those extra time slots in the theaters.
Bad.
With them not having the theaters as the main focus, well, at least in the States, I think they could get away with a longer runtime.
I could see that.
Which I hope for, because again, it's so congested with characters.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of people in this movie, which is it's not a bad thing, but it can be. I
mean, it's not, because Spider-Verse showed that you could do it well with 5 characters. 3 of them are more important than the rest. But this is
Miller aren't making this movie.
Yeah, and plus this is a third movie into a story with Peter Parker. Like stuff's going to be carried over from Far From Home in here. The MCU connections, it's not a standalone thing. So
we're never getting we're never gonna get a standalone Spider-Man movie. Like the closest we got was Homecoming. We're not. Peter Parker's not going to have a chance to be his own person in these movies.
At least for the MCU. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a bummer. I don't know.
Yeah. But coming back full circle, I think if they add Charlie Cox and Jessica Jones into the MCU, it should be feasible, because the shows, they more or less did a good job of keeping it just above, like with the references and all that, like just enough to say like this could be connected.
Yeah, like just connected enough, like just enough there to keep it relevant, I think, to the series.
Yeah. I mean, I always remember in season 2 of Jessica Jones, there's a shot of one of the new characters' kid. He's just running in the park and he's just wearing a Captain America costume.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking of like, why aren't we connecting these now? What's going on?
It must have just been the contractual stuff between the two, between Netflix and Marvel.
I forget his name. Is it Jeff Loeb from Marvel TV?
Yeah, Jeff Loeb.
Yeah, I know him and Feige had some tension early on when when the Netflix shows were starting out. So maybe there's that barrier there.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then plus, with Feige, he's mentioned before that he would rather like have everything in his hands, right? Like setting up the narrative. Yeah. He doesn't want like any wild cards coming in. Like the interview of like, yeah, Venom's connected to the MCU, and he's just like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Feige's like, when did we talk about this? We didn't establish this. Like, the dirty look he gives to Patty Jenkins, or no, not Patty Jenkins. What's her name?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Right? Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars.
No, that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the Sony? What is this?
Amy Pascal. That's
Amy
her name.
Pascal. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think this year marked the rights are up on Netflix side, right? Because it was a 2-year holding that they had for the shows.
Yeah, I think everything has reverted this year back to main Marvel.
I think you're right, because I want to say Punisher was also 2018.
Oh, okay. So there's a timeline here of when they all expire and come back.
Oh, okay.
So this says Daredevil came back 2020. Jessica Jones is going to come back 2021 because her final thing came out after Daredevil's final season.
Yeah.
Luke Cage expired in 2020. Iron Fist expired in 2020. And then Punisher is coming back in 2021 also. So
okay.
They're just waiting on Jessica Jones and Punisher, it looks like, at this point.
Okay. Which could still hold up for She-Hulk because, they're not... I doubt they're working on a whole lot of it, other than just storyboards and scripts.
I think so. Yeah, She-Hulk at this point, I think, is still in, pre-production stages.
Yeah, and plus it's also set for 2022.
But it's cool to see Charlie Cox is coming into Spider-Man. Maybe that'll be interesting. There's a lot of people in Spider-Man, and I hope it's good.
I mean, if I had to guess, I mean he would have to come in as the lawyer is what I would think. But
yeah,
I think
that's the only way you can bring him in.
Yeah, which I would prefer that over just him showing up in the suit, at least for now. And I was thinking probably in the beginning of the movie before things get wild, but based off of Far From Home, I can't imagine Peter has to go to court for stuff for the Spider-Man review.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I guess he has to because the video implies that he killed Mysterio, right?
Mysterio, yeah. Yep. There's going to be a thing with that going on.
Oh, okay. So, So it could be in the beginning where he has to, go to court and he doesn't have a lawyer. And then that's when Matt Murdock walks in and says that he's his lawyer.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
But then
I can't afford a lawyer.
But I would want his scene to play out, but then I feel like they would have to interrupt the court stuff with Doctor Strange coming in, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole structure of this movie is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious about how they're going to set it up. I don't know. It would be weird if he's not even the lawyer for this Peter Parker. Like if it's in the alternate timeline of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Okay.
Or the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and he's Daredevil over there, and he's not Daredevil in the MCU. Oh boy, it's gonna be real strange.
Yeah, definitely strange. Yeah.
But speaking of movies that seem to be getting too many characters, Thor: Love and Thunder just keeps adding cast members to their stupid movie. And they're all things that make sense. I get it, but also holy crap! How many people are going to be in this stupid thing? Because Matt Damon's back as fake Loki, and I'm like, why? And I get Sean Gunn showing up. That makes sense to me. With the Guardians and stuff. We're gonna finally see him, hopefully with the fin, because he just posted the other day
that's
that he's
right.
going to. Yeah, I'm hoping we finally get to see him with the fin on his head.
Well, is it for that, or is he for doing the mocap for Rocket again?
Oh,
because he does the mocap, right?
Yeah, he does the mocap for Rocket. I didn't even think about that, man. I want Kraglin back though.
Yeah, because we did get it was a while back, but yeah, Chris Pratt was confirmed too to come in, right?
Yeah, Chris Pratt's there. I don't know if they've confirmed Batista yet. If Dave Batista showed up. No,
so
I don't know if Drax has been confirmed at all.
I think Chris Pratt was the first to be confirmed.
But my other question with that is Chris Pratt going there for that, or is he going there for Jurassic World reshoots? Chris Pratt's got a couple projects going on. I would assume that it's probably for Marvel. because they filmed most of Jurassic World in Hawaii and not in New Zealand.
Right. Yeah.
I guess we'll see how that shakes out. But
well, again,
Sif is back. James
yes.
Alexander is going out there to film. So she's back.
Which you know what that says to me is they're probably moving towards the romance for Thor on that end. If I had to guess,
I hope so. Well,
yeah,
because Natalie Portman's got to get together with Valkyrie,
with Tessa Thompson. Yeah,
because Valkyrie's being rewritten to not have a thing with Thor, which I think is a bummer. I was really into them having a little fling.
Valkyrie and Thor.
Yeah, like the way they set it up in Ragnarok, and now they're just going to be like, no, it didn't happen. It's not
well, because they were like, let's try the Hulk romance again, right? Kind of.
Maybe I don't know, but either way, they're adding tons of people to Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's sort of like they're making this like the pseudo Guardians 3 in some ways. I think
2.5. You could say
2.5 probably. Because they couldn't do that. Like I feel like this was probably their fallback plan for the Guardians. Like if they couldn't have a Guardians 3 get made, they were like, well, let's put him in this movie. So we at least still got him in the MCU. It makes me curious if James Gunn is coming in to do anything on Thor: Love and Thunder. Because he was consulting on like Endgame and Infinity War when the Guardians show up in both movies.
Okay, so it says here, it looks like possibly Mantis, Nebula, and Drax were also.
Oh, okay.
I think that's Nebula. That might just be an assumption because everyone else is in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see. I think that's where I'm at about it. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Yeah, but I think we mentioned it before. I think the Guardians do have to be in the movie at some point, right? Because of where like Thor leaves with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can imagine just the intro bit to really set the tone for the film with them hanging out with all their, going back and forth. Because I know a lot of people did like that in Infinity War. Because the big thing with these large ensembles for these smaller films, if it feels like with the TV shows, like there's a lot of TV shows announced, right, for Marvel, and it's like, oh well, finally they're doing it, but now like they're trying to play catch up in a sense, and I've always mentioned like Phase 2, they should have started doing smaller crossovers within the movies a lot more, and then I feel like here it's like, oh, let's try to play catch up by having everybody interact. Like
let's do it now, like instead of back then. Like it almost feels like a little too late, in my opinion.
I mean, unless all these films are big set pieces into whatever the next big event is going to be for the MCU, and it's like we have to get these characters on screen as much as possible.
Yeah, like if it's like a big Mephisto, like lead up or something. I don't know. This phase feels so awkward and weird. It almost doesn't. This phase doesn't feel like a phase. Almost like I'm curious why they're still calling it Phase 4. Like all these movies feel.
Yeah, are they calling it Phase 4 still?
As far as I know, they were, but maybe I'm wrong.
Wasn't Kevin Feige like in an interview recently or something?
Yeah, like this isn't. We're just ditching the phase. The phases.
Because I think they asked him how long is the phase gonna be.
Oh, it's an article from January 10th. He won't confirm when it ends. Like he's not saying what the end of Phase 4 is, which kind of makes me wonder if there even is a Phase 4 at this point, or if they're just like, no, we're just gonna do it all.
Yeah, because it's like, Phase 1 is like, okay, we're setting up the Avengers with the tease of what they're gonna fight eventually, which ended up being Phase 3, right? And with Thanos and all that. So I wonder if they're just trying to think of who is gonna be the final boss again.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like it should be Dormammu at this point. That's what I would set it up to do, because I'm like, you already set him up and you didn't kill him. So it's like we have a villain that we can bring back.
Yeah, 'cause he's just chilling, right? It's not like Strange locked him up or anything.
Nope. He just told him to go away. And that's what he did. He's like, I'll
Yeah.
bye. I'll see you later. I'm
Now,
gone.
if we could get a team up of villains for the next big thing, I think that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Like if it was Mephisto and a Dormammu at the same time, that would be super sweet. I would be like super into that like a lot.
Because again, like the power scaling now with the new set is, they're a lot stronger than before, right? With Captain Marvel there, Doctor Strange,
and Wanda,
and of course Thor. He's still going to be there, but yeah, those are the biggest hitters, and plus like their powers are a lot more powerful than just what the big three was last time.
And I guess with Thor still being around, he's still like a pretty big. He's probably like still around the same power level. Hopefully he has like the Odin Force still.
Yeah, he should still have it. I don't see why not.
I mean, they didn't really bring it back too much. They depowered the Odin Force, I guess is what I would put it at. They made it seem a lot less strong in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, but we all know the power scaling's always skewed in the MCU.
Yeah, like super weird all over the place.
But before we get off of Love and Thunder, we finally got the confirmation of who Christian Bale is playing.
Oh God, I don't care. Christian Bale's not going to be in the movie. He's going to be a CGI character, and he will die before the end credits roll. Christian Bale he's going to have the same fate as Christopher Eccleston did in Thor 2, which is such a bummer.
Yeah.
Every Thor villain is a very good actor that keeps getting killed off. So I'm over it. I have no excitement about Christian Bale being in it because I feel like he's just going to be completely wasted.
Yeah, so he's playing Gore, the God Butcher,
which is a symbiote character. I found out he's a guy who was on a planet who prayed to God for salvation for his people on his planet, and they didn't help. And then he ends up seeing an Asgardian, and he's like, "You didn't help me." They're like, "Sorry," and he's like, "Well, now I'm gonna kill all the gods, and that's my story." And the way he does it is he finds a symbiote that's like a sword. That's like the first form that it takes, but then it envelops him, and like that's how he becomes the God Butcher, and it makes him strong enough to kill gods. Which I'm like,
so that sounds like we're probably gonna get flashback stuff with him,
or it'll be like the very beginning of the movie. There will be that pre-credits roll scene where it's 30 years prior or something, and Gore is on a planet, and Thor shows up, and Thor doesn't do anything to help the people of his planet or something. And he's like, "Oh no, I'm evil now."
Yeah, I could see Lady Sif being there too.
Oh, maybe it's Lady Sif that's the catalyst for it. That could be, or it's a Valkyrie's thing.
Yeah, because I mean he's an alien, right? I mean, they could probably go back a lot farther than just 30 years.
Yeah.
Since Thor's so old. I wonder if that applies to the same for God Butcher here.
Could be. Okay, so the weapon that he gets, which is a symbiote, is called All Black the Necro Sword.
Oh, that's very Thor's lane, right?
Yeah. Gore the God Butcher, I will say, also is a modern Thor villain. He only came into the comics
2013.
He came into the comics with Lady Thor. Like, he's specifically a Lady Thor villain.
Oh no, this comic run, it says his first appearance was the one right before Jane Foster became Thor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still pretty recent though. Yeah,
maybe it's a storyline where he cuts off Thor's arm, and that's when Thor becomes not worthy anymore. Could that be a part of it? I don't know. I'm not sure how much I care.
Well, yeah, in the comics, Thor became unworthy because Nick Fury whispered something to him that Thor knew was true that made him not worthy anymore, and then Jane Foster. I think Malekith cuts Thor's arm off in the comics.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he comes back, and he's sort of like the main threat for that Jane Foster has to fight.
I mean, I don't know. Looking at Gore's character design here, I think he looks like way too much like what's his face from Infinity War. Thanos' buddy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one that stabs Vision, right?
Yeah, Scientist Man. I don't remember what his name is. Because
that guy.
Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw. That's his name.
Ebony Maw. That's right.
Because I think he says that Maw is dead, but they don't ever actually say like the full names of any of the children of Thanos in the movies, which I think is hilarious. Like they all just show up and they never say their names, and I'm like, cool character designs, very badly executed characters in the movies. Except for Ebony, he was fun. He's like the only one who got to actually like do something.
Ebony Maw, yeah. Well, yeah. I thought Midnight had some stuff.
Which one's Midnight?
Is that her name? The only female?
Is that the lady one?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the girl?
Is that even her name? I don't.
I don't know.
Proxima Midnight. That's her name.
Oh, okay. It's like I have no idea what her name is. You'd have to look at the action figures. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's the problem with those characters in those movies.
Yup.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gore's design, it's just a trench coat and a sword.
He's definitely going to be voiced by Christian Bale. Yep.
See, Christian Bale should have just been you know who he could have been? Probably Odin's brother.
I was gonna say Odin or Thor's brother, like either one, like because doesn't Thor have another brother, like other than Loki, that's like an actual Asgardian brother, like in the mythology, like Balder, right? Like isn't Balder like a thing? Balder, brother of Thor. Yeah, they should have brought him in and made him.
Isn't Balder already in the MCU?
I don't think so. I don't think we've seen him. Yeah, he hasn't shown up in the MCU yet. And I think Balder would have been a great villain for the next Thor movie. He would have been fun to have as the villain for the third movie, and then maybe have him not die and have a brother for Thor that could be Christian Bale. Keep Christian Bale coming back. But I mean, there's also the idea that they have to keep paying Christian Bale. And he's expensive because he was Batman.
I mainly say Odin's brother, his name's Cole, mainly because he is an antagonist most of the time in the comics. He doesn't always see eye to eye with the rest of the Asgardians.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I could see him coming to do something.
That would have been cool.
For some reason, these Thor movies, they just don't want a whole lot of Asgardian stuff, I guess.
I just love that they keep hiring Oscar-nominated actors and they put them in makeup and then just kill them. I don't know what that says about the MCU's opinion of like the Academy Awards or anything. If you could get them and keep them, that would be one thing. Like if you could get them into a movie and have them stick around for like another movie or two, like totally different. But it's like having Anthony Hopkins in one Transformers movie. It's like it's not that cool. Like I don't know. I could care less about Christian Bale being in it. I'm happy he's going to be in a Marvel movie so that his kids can watch him in a Marvel film. I guess that's cool. Because I know that that's one of the biggest reasons he actually signed on was because his kids wanted him to be in it.
Okay, that's cool.
And I'm like, that's cool, but like maybe you should have fought for a more important character to play. I don't know, like this. Oh man.
Okay, I see. Reading more of Gore's backstory, he first showed up to Earth around the 9th century. Okay. Oh, and it says he killed the gods from the Americas.
Oh.
But they're not gonna. I doubt they're gonna get into other deities in the MCU. I think they're just gonna stick with Norse, unless Hercules shows up. Which I like Hercules in the MCU. It'd be cool to see him. Or
yeah, but like Hercules,
Marvel Hercules.
Hercules is already showing up over in DC, so maybe possibly.
Is he?
Right? I think like they showed like Zeus people. They have a lot of references to like Zeus and stuff in.
Oh yeah,
DC
Wonder Woman.
Woman.
Sorry,
and,
yeah,
like,
I forget.
And they show like a Zeus-like character in Justice League, like in the big fight with Steppenwolf. Where the one Green Lantern shows up.
I mean, I know like Ares is a prominent character in DC, and he showed up before in Marvel. So yeah, if Gore can be that old. Yeah, I could see like going way back in the past as these usual Thor movies go. Right, like with Malekith, like, oh, that was thousands of years ago.
Watch them get Anthony Hopkins to do voiceover for the intro again. Just to do it.
That'd be cool, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I would probably say like he would show up like young Odin is probably the reason why Gore wants revenge and he just takes it out on Thor.
That would make a lot of sense. Hey, that'd be a cool way to tie Anthony Hopkins back into the show, back into the movies.
Yeah, but I think that plays a little close to Ragnarok because it's like Thor has to fight Odin's mistakes in that film with Hela.
Oh, you know, the storytelling of these movies is pretty formulaic. So.
I mean, yeah, they could, just tweak here and there. It'll play out fine. Yeah, I think that was it for Love and Thunder, right? Nothing else.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest Love and Thunder news that we had, other than it's filming, currently shooting.
Well, all right, man. Sad news, real quick. Sony's delaying movies, and that includes Morbius.
Yep. Yeah, I'm curious if Morbius is going to get some reshoots. Maybe,
or maybe it's just a New Mutants thing again. You know, I don't know.
Man, that would be a bummer if Morbius just ends up in production heck like for forever. That would be a bummer. I really want to see it. I really want to check it out.
It's supposed to be October this year, then they pushed it back to January, so we have a full year to wait again.
Woof.
Yeah, not looking too good.
Yeah, not too much else I think we can say on it. Just I'm excited to see it when it finally releases.
I want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit. I'm ready. Just let me see that vampire man. I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another confirmation that Venom 2 is going to be rated R.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, that was a while back that was confirmed. Yeah, back around like January 11th is when I sent it in the chat. So that was confirmed. Venom Let There Be Carnage will be an R-rated flick. So that's cool. So we'll probably see Carnage kill some people.
And then we can finally get those kill shots more on screen.
We can see Venom actually eat people. That'll be great.
Which I gotta say, I think it was fine what they did in Venom. Right, it was just enough to show.
I didn't mind it. It was kind of like how they did it in Dark Knight, like how they don't show it, but they heavily imply what happened. And I'm like, yes, that's all I need. In my opinion, sometimes it makes it scarier.
Like Venom about to eat this guy's head off, and it cuts like right at the chomp. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to really talk about on the MCU side, right? I don't think there's.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for Marvel.
Just again, a bunch of shows, but I'd rather just wait to talk about those until we get more stuff.
Yeah, until I see trailers for stuff, I'm not. I can't be excited about titles.
No,
I can't be excited about graphic designs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only other thing I remember is we did get some set photos for Miss Marvel.
I think there's like some clips too, like from like the sizzle reel they released or whatever for the MCU. Like there was some actual footage, but I think it's like seconds worth of footage. Like it's nothing like to actually talk about. Like it's like, oh, there she is. It's like, okay, cool.
Right.
If I remember right.
I just remember the set photo being her wearing like a Captain Marvel costume and like a bike helmet that's like her helmet.
Oh yeah, they have like, okay, so there is a specific video that's a sizzle for Miss Marvel, and I haven't watched this yet, but it looks like it's a lot about the comic book and the writer, her looking at the Captain Marvel poster on her wall,
which makes me think, how far is this post Endgame?
I don't know.
And like, is Carol really on Earth for that long to get a fan base like that?
I don't know. That's
here. You know what? I don't remember this scene. I'll pull it up real quick from Far From Home.
Did we talk about the Loki trailer?
There was a Loki trailer?
We talked about it. There is a Loki trailer. Did you see it?
No, I didn't even know this.
Oh yeah, there's a trailer for the Loki show that's actually pretty good. I was pretty into it. Yeah, it's the first half of it is just the scene from Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah, what last month? Wow.
Yeah, did we? I guess we never talked about this. The
Yeah,
Loki trailer's pretty cool.
This went under my radar. Okay.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's in it. Yep, it's about time travel and dimension hopping and stuff, and Loki's causing shenanigans and helping out time police. It's got very Umbrella Academy vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I dig it. I dig the look of it. It's looking pretty good. It looks like he ends up going to more of the 9 realms, which is kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of that. Like, I was like, if there's one thing about the Thor movies that I'm kind of like think is lacking, it's that they don't really show a whole lot of the other realms of the universe.
Yeah, I think the most we ever got was the intro for Dark World, right?
Yeah, and then we get to see like Jotunheim in the first Thor.
In the first one, that's just for a bit, yeah, and then
yeah. But Thor: The Dark World, like the alternate realm, you know, it looks like an alternate planet from like Stargate.
Yeah, man, that's Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
I almost didn't recognize him.
He's old. He's so old.
I guess I never really seen him with short hair like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who that guy is with the helmet. Like, that looks like it could be a Nova Corps member. You get the Triumvirate from the comics, which is like the time variance authority, which is like the 3 heads of that control time and stuff, and that's pretty neat. So it's looking pretty good. It looks interesting. This one definitely has piqued my interest in terms of what's going on. Oh, there's a shot in here of Black Widow, possibly in the Soul Stone.
Oh, I see.
Like,
I see it. Yeah.
Like where she's sitting on the rock here. So I thought that was kind of cool. It looks like they're. Have you ever heard the story of DB Cooper?
Oh, of course. I watched Without a Paddle.
Yeah. So DB Cooper. It looks like Loki is DB Cooper.
Oh, I saw it right here. Yeah.
Yeah, like him jumping out of the plane and everything. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Loki's gonna be a bunch of weird historical figures that just disappeared. Like he's just gonna be causing trouble in the timeline.
They're doing the vote Loki bit that they did.
They
did it in
Loki.
The comics.
Yep,
yeah.
President Loki imagery. I'm like, yeah,
okay,
I'm into it. I'm cool. Yeah, right. So it looks fun. I'm excited for that. The Loki trailer came out around the same time as all the title drops for stuff.
That's probably how I missed it. Yeah,
God,
I was more or less checked out for all those. Okay, wow.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that. That's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm digging it.
You know, one thing I forgot was Ant-Man 3.
Quantum Mania, I think is the name of the movie. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. I'm just like, how long can they make the title for the Ant-Man movies? Like, is that like the new? That's like the new the new challenge for the Marvel writers is make the longest title for a Marvel film.
Right, Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. Because
I already thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was a pretty long title, but this is like crazy long.
One thing I was like, why are they doing this? Is they recasted Cassie Lang.
Oh yeah, hated that. I was like, nope.
I mean, unless the actress just wasn't on board, like to get a bigger role. But like, if you're getting to a role like that, I think you have to understand that you're going to be playing a bigger thing eventually, right?
Yeah. Okay. So the writer. Oh man, this does not look super great. The writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania, wrote for The Onion TV show, the 64th Emmy Awards, Jimmy Kimmel Live, the Oscars in 2017 specifically, and 4 episodes of Rick and Morty. And that is all he has done.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't know how this next Ant-Man movie is going to be.
I mean, I'll just say there was humor in Ant-Man and the Wasp that I thought was a little stale, and that's why I'm not a big fan of that movie.
I mean, I'm just not a big fan of that movie in general. I think it was kind of a waste of time. I don't really remember a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything super interesting, but I don't really think so. I mean, the suit is the best thing that came out of that, but
Yep.
I mean, that suit was going to come eventually with
It was in Civil War.
No, it's they updated the suit. The Ant-Man suit was updated too for Infinity War.
Was it? I thought it was the same from Civil War.
No, he has the Civil War suit, but then he gets a new one. Yeah, because it was a new suit that Hank made, but there was still some kinks to work out, and that's why he like shrinks down to like 4 feet tall at one point.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's cool. It'll be cool to see Paul Rudd again as Ant-Man. Yeah, I think that's it for MCU stuff for now.
Yeah, that was a lot of Marvel talk, man. We talked some Marvel this episode.
Yeah, good times, man. Great to come back and talk about the show title, right?
Yeah.
There was some other stuff that came out, DC and other superhero stuff like Invincible, but we could get more into that on the next episode.
Oh, did Invincible drop? Is that out?
No, there was a 2-minute clip that came out.
Oh, cool. Okay, I haven't checked that out yet, but
I like it. It's good. It sets the tone for what to expect from our main character. So that's cool. And we'll get to more details about that stuff later. Future episode. Next one should be our rankings for the films that came out last year. Looking back, there's actually a good amount that came out last year, so we could sit down and talk about those.
I know what my number one is, but I don't know if I should spoil it here.
I have to relook at the list. I don't remember all the films on there, but I have an idea of what's up there, top 3 for sure. So yeah, we'll be back, guys, in full force at Marvel Talk here.
Yep.
And while we wait for that next episode, Jake, where can we find you at, man?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. I've been doing a lot of work with Kids Can Cosplay recently, doing storytime video editing. So go give them a follow. Check them out. They're putting up a lot of new content, some of which involves me in costumes. So go check it out. I've been a little light on the Instagram front, just because I haven't had a whole lot to post because, no conventions. Hopefully soon we'll hear back about that, and we'll be booing with the boys. But Danny, where can all these fine folks find you?
Yeah, man. As always, you can find me at Negator7, anywhere on social media. Mainly doing Yakuza memes right now, so that's fun.
Heck yeah, I've been following that fire, dude. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Yakuza, it's not Marvel, but it's a great series. Just to say real quick.
Oh, I got to toss in there. I did start Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's freaking amazing. It's
nice.
Really good. It's really, really fun.
That's on my list. Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
That's a good one. That is a good game.
And yeah, I'm streaming more on Twitch. I do play Yakuza on Fridays, so that's a good time. And also our other show, Unversed Podcast, we're still doing the usual over there as well. And if you have any questions, comments, anything of the sorts, that's marveltalkpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, we could talk about that on the next episode. So thanks, guys. And until next time,
find the goddess within.